What's up, loves? All right. Hi, loves. How's everybody doing? Hi, the Great Fortress. Hi, Serah Monaco. For some time, Martiza, M34 Rod, Serah 4. Hi, Tammy. Charity Barless, baby. Hi, Rebecca. Alright, guys. I'm in. One, I love this song. Two, I'm in such a chill. Hi, Natasha. Hi, Katie. Hi, Dragon. Yay, Serah, glad you're on live too today. I'm totally digging this Billie Eilish song. Some of her other stuff, I'm like, this one I totally dig. How are you guys feeling? I'm in like a fluid mood. Hi, Loving Life. It's a Billie Eilish song called Ocean. Okay, we'll start in a minute. I'll shuffle. Start putting in questions. If you guys got questions, we'll stop the music in a minute because I have to do that because I have to edit music out. Otherwise, they block my shit. You know, all those rights and stuff. It's been a long week. Didn't see me last week. I was here. We were all here. But you're here now. Hi, Millie. Gorgeous soul sister. You too, baby. Hi, Goddess 1111. Free Spiritual 7. Oh my God, you guys. I'm in a very, really feeling my feminine energy today. You know, new moon vibes. That's you, baby. Oh, I miss you. Maybe go do some coffee or something soon. You really know how to make me cry when you give me those emotions. I'm scared. How are you guys? I'm not high energy today at all. I'm like chill. I'm in a little bit of pain. I use some quantum pain cards to relieve all of that. All right. We'll stop the music. Hi, loves. Welcome to Soul Circle. I'm Serah Delane, your Conscious Lifestylist. We do this every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, answering your questions, and we do some fun cards. Like I was saying, I am so in just like fluid feminine energy today. It's been such an amazing week. I'm in so much gratitude. Shout out to this amazing hashtag gratitude365 who sent me this badass shirt, like right on time. Like, I shouldn't say right on time, but like all the vibe right now has been so much just like heart expanding gratitude and just fun. It's by a company called Let's Soul. So perfect for Soul Circle, right? Please check them out. They're so badass. They sent me the shirt and it's so cozy and comfy. And it's just like exactly just the mood and feeling that I want to just be in, like comfy clothes and cocooning and just being in that like heart space of gratitude. So totally check them out. Hashtag gratitude365 because we practice gratitude 365 days. And that's big part of our values here. So super grateful for them for sending me this shirt. I'm so stoked. I'll do a picture of something and tag them for sure so you guys can have that. Heart focus the last few days. Yeah, are you guys feeling that? Like like there's this like expansion at a next level happening in the region of the heart. It's good. It's good. Need help finding your path. First, releasing the illusion that you believe that you are not on your path. If you are doing anything, you are on your path. You might just be in a discovery process while on your path. So releasing the illusion that you believe that you are somewhere else that you should be, that you think that you aren't. Tingling heart space. Yeah. How are you guys doing? Hang on. Let me see if I missed anything from you guys. Yes, yes, yes. Will I go to prom with you? That's really sweet. You guys know I went to somebody else's prom. I never actually went to a prom. Like, I mean, I tested out of high school, so I never actually like had a high school prom. But that's really sweet. I don't know how to answer that, but I can say I'm really grateful for the invite. You did some singing bowls. Awesome. For your heart chakra. Yay, I love that. And we'll pull some cards too on the personal side, and we'll do a few on the business side. You know what I've been practicing a lot? Like, we have 3 jumpers. Okay, thank you. Can complete that one. I went to this amazing just gathering of beautiful souls of just high vibe, good spirits, like good people, great just like connection with people, right? Like everyone was on the same level of like being open and supportive and like, hi, who are you? And like connecting on such a fun, deeper friend level. It was really, really badass. And so one of the things that I've really been practicing recently, aside from getting more in touch with gratitude, people look at you like you're crazy because you're feeling so much love. I know, because you can't possibly be in like a loving space and a happy space and like just a gratitude space with like being sober, right? Like that's not where our culture thinks that we get happiness from, right? Like you must be on something in order to be so happy or so like full of love or expansion, right? That's funny. So one of the things you're so looking forward to today, awesome. So thank you, Ari Rose. So one of the things that I've been practicing, like consciously, and this might sound funny, like setting an intention for fun. Does that make sense? Like actually putting intention into having more fun. I know that almost sounds like counterproductive because you're like, well, that sounds like you have to like plan the fun, you know, or like rather than just letting it be organic. And yet at the same time, like how much do we get so caught up in everything that we're doing in our lives and sitting on the computer or working with people or helping with people. And as much as that's amazing, right? We get so caught up in the external and so caught up in some aspects of it that can be fun, but it's like the hamster wheel and you're constantly going and going and going and you can kind of get caught up in the mind too much, right? And I just noticed one of the things of like, I would go out, but I wasn't really being fully present when I was out. Right? I was out and I'd be talking to somebody and yet like half of my mind would be over here thinking of like all these other things that I needed to do. So I wasn't fully present and then I really wasn't having fun with that. Like when you're not present, you can't really find the fun if you're not present. You know what I mean? Because you're somewhere else. You're either in the future or in the past or just not present. Right? And so then you're not connecting and then the energy's not there. No fun can be had in that moment. And so one of the things you could say, yes, I've been setting a more conscious intention to be more present, but then also just like taking those like weird little moments of an opportunity that like, if I wasn't present, I wouldn't be taking those moments of opportunity to have fun, right? I went to one of my friends, it was her a 5-year-old kid, I think he's 6 now, birthday party, and there was this bouncy house. You know, those ones that we used to go when we were kids. And so any other time, if I wasn't like fully present with something, like I wouldn't have thought, oh wow, it'd be really fun to just like go be a kid for a second and go into the bouncy house, right? Because like I would have been over here somewhere, or over there somewhere, and the thought would have potentially never occurred to me, right? I wouldn't be in fun having intentional space. Does that make sense? And so because I've been setting an intention for more fun, setting an intention to be more present, right? Letting go of whatever think that I need to be thinking about in that moment. Then like all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is amazing bouncy house, you know? And I was like, I kind of want to kick off my shoes and like go bounce in the bouncy house like a 5-year-old for a minute, right? Or and then literally my friend looked at me and she's like, you want to go? And I was like, how did you know? Yes, I do. Yes, I 100% do. And so we kicked off our shoes and we went bouncing. Maybe you guys saw it on the stories. It was really fun. It was really fun. I thought I was going to like accidentally stomp on a child, but we didn't. That was good. And we had a lot of fun. So that has been something that I have been putting more intention into, right? And like I said, it might sound counterproductive, like how do you put intention for fun? And yet if we're not putting an intention to have fun, like when do we actually make time for that? Like when do we actually like make room for fun, whatever that could look like, right? And I was sharing that in this group of amazing beings. I want this one. That I went to of this gathering up in Malibu, and I was sharing that with a girl that was there, and she's like, I really like that. And then she asked me, she's like, so like, how do you figure out like what you find fun? Like, what do you think is fun? How are you going to figure that out? Like, how did you figure that out? Right? And I started laughing. Maybe you guys resonate with this. Yes, total inner child. It was adorable, the bouncy of the bounce house, right? And you guys might be like, what is she doing? I'm having fun. That's what I'm doing. So I told this to this girl, and she's like trying to figure it out, right? Like how do you figure that out? And I started laughing because I'm like, I totally did that same thing when I first set the intention for, okay, Sarah, you're going to set the intention for more fun. And then I was like, wait, let's figure this out. How do you find what's going to be fun, right? And I caught myself over analyzing what I was going to try to be fun or like have fun doing. Hashtag, what are you making it mean? That's our new hashtag. Exactly. Right. So thank you, Violet. So I just thought it was rather interesting that like, if that's the first step in creating an intention on what's going to be fun for you, is getting out of the head on trying to analyze what you're going to try to make fun. Like, you can't plan it. It's literally like that takes you out of the moment, right? So you literally have to like be in the moment, being present, and then anything that just like feels like it's going to make your heart kind of skip like a little 5-year-old in that moment, like go do that. Whatever it is, it could be the most ridiculous thing. Like go do it. You want to kick off your shoes and go roll around in the grass, go do it. If it gives you like a little heart flutter, that's what you need to be doing in that absolute moment. And you can't plan it. Oh, Millie. Yes. Just like I had pancakes for dinner again, and that was fun and delicious. Yes, girl. Pancakes are one of my favorite foods. They haven't been on my eating regimen right now, but I kind of feel like maybe I should incorporate them tonight. Maybe it's like a cheat day, right? I'll tell my trainer I'm having pancakes. I'll reevaluate my eating regimen tomorrow. Pancakes sound like fun. That absolutely sounds like fun. With butter and syrup, 100% organic, yummy syrup, right? Who wants pancakes? Who wants pancakes? Who thinks pancakes are going to be fun right now? Oh, okay. Yes, pancakes. Riding the park and swinging in the rain. Oh, I like that. Riding the park, and swing in the rain. You know what I used to love doing when I was a little kid too? Because I loved swings. I loved swings. And I liked doing those. I lived in Sweden for 2 years when I was, I was, I think 7 or 8, something like that, right? And so we had this swing set. And one of the girls in Sweden taught me this way where you kick your feet out straight and you hold the chain of the swing super tight, right? So your body is like a board, right? So you're holding it super tight. And as you're going, you push forward, right? And then as you're coming back, you hold your body like a board so that when it goes all the way up like a board, by the time you get like this, like your stomach flips, like it does when you're on a roller coaster. Every time, without a doubt. Go try it the next time that you find a swing, right? And you get the little heart flutter and you're like, oh, I really want to go on a swing. Like push forward, like get going, like get some good stride, get some good swing going, right? And then push forward, and on your way back, put your body as stiff as a board as possible, as like stiff as you can, and then let yourself come all the way back. And once you come back, it'll like flip flop. It's I need to go do that again. Yes. Yes. You got to go swing and try. Yes. You used to do that too. Yeah, the stomach flutters. I don't know why it does that, but it will literally flutter like you're on a roller coaster every time. Swings are the bomb. Absolutely. Oh, let's go find some swings. Let's go find some swings and get our heart flutters and like talk about like the feeling of like falling in love, like whether you're in a relationship or not in a relationship, like creating those sensations in your body to like make you feel like you're falling in love, no matter whether you are in love or not, whatever, just feeling that sensation and setting like that new level of like a cellular memory in your body, right? That sounds like fun to me. Hang on, let me scroll back up so I can see some of the comments that I missed from you guys. Yes, hearts. Never lose your sense of whimsy. Okay, so I'm wearing a white shirt, and so now I can't see. Let's see. Yes, reality shifts when you're in that space of joy and fun. You can literally see it mirrored back to you 100%. And like, yeah, you'll see it coming back from the people. And that's how you know that you're truly 100% being in it. If you get it reflected back by somebody, yes, hearts. If you see, that's fun. That makes my heart flutter. Seeing those. Those are awesome. So like seeing that from like seeing it come back to you, that's how you know, yes, hearts. That's how you know that you're like fully present with it and exuding it, is when you can get it received back from, could be anybody, right? Could be a conversation, and they might like look at you and be like, wow, like you seem really happy. Why is that? Are you high? Have you been drinking? You can't possibly just be happy, right? Are you on Molly? Right? Yes, it is possible to be high on life. It is possible to be high on love naturally. Yes, you guys saw the bouncing. It was so much fun. Okay, dancing with loud music. And you were in the car. Wait, you were dancing in the car with loud music, and then somebody looked at you in the car next to you, and 2 girls were dancing and singing also, right? Like, what's that quote? Like, dance like nobody's watching. Like, we gotta stop giving a fuck. This goes back to, weren't we talking about this last week, right? The like, what are people gonna think of you? What are they gonna say? Like, if you're out there, you know, just being you and letting like your light shine, dancing, rocking out. Like, there's so many times where I've done that, and yeah, and you look over and the person's looking at you like you're so weird. You know, it's like, don't kill my fun. I'm having fun. So it's a reminder and an opportunity for them to be reminded that they could be doing the same thing. They could be doing the same thing. So I love that, Laura. That's amazing. Okay. Yes, bouncies are so fun. Okay. Hang on, I'm a little behind. Yes, inner child. We need to remember inner child. You guys have heard me say too, your inner child is your ego. So no, we can't kill the ego. So we got to stop. Like that's like telling the inner child that it can't exist and like no more fun for you, right? It wants to come along. It wants to play. And it constantly think it's going to be abandoned with the next like level of either next step that you're getting to that you're not incorporating and integrating it, or it's like you're not paying enough attention to it. That's one of the main reasons why we have this little internal ego that starts getting rambunctious and frustrated, right? Or whatever your sensation of your ego is. Sometimes it's anger, right? If you were a little kid and you were left alone and there was like all this fun to be had in the world, like bouncies and swings and all this stuff, and like nobody was playing with you, like eventually do you think that you would get like irritated and maybe like angry and a little upset? And then maybe you would start acting out, right? And then you start getting all these conversations of like resentment and anger and all that. And you wonder why internally your ego is having these like energies and sensations of anger and frustration. And it's like, but well, what if it just wanted to play this whole time? And if the more that we make a conscious intention to have more fun and let our inner child out and play, then it won't feel suffocated and suppressed. And therefore, then it won't have that like resentment or anger, right? Are you guys following what I mean? Whatever your emotion is around the ego, you guys following that? Does that make sense? Hang on, I'm still in the comments about pancakes. So yes. Okay, cool. Right? Like the dark with light, the inner child with the responsible adult, the yin and the yang. Yes, like you as the adult now, right? But sometimes then we get into situations and it's our inner child that we start responding like. You ever notice that one? Especially when you get triggered, especially in relationships. Just saying, right? Yeah, so it totally makes sense. Okay, I heard someone say that the ego sucks you dry. That didn't resonate with me. I know, because there's so many memes and so many quotes about like, kill the ego sucks you dry. Like, yeah, like all of that stuff. And you know what? To a certain extent, an unintegrated ego absolutely is doing that. Because again, if that's like, if you've got like this child within that isn't getting any attention, and now it's like, hey, remember me? And then you still don't pay attention to it, and then it starts getting maybe angry and frustrated, then after a while, don't you think that anger and frustration might suck you dry? So yes, I agree with that statement. And what we need to do as far as handling that is not kill it, right? Or disregard it again, because that will actually give your ego, your inner child, which is part of your subconscious, the feeling of that fear of abandonment, which is what we've all been doing to our inner child anyway, right? They say kill the ego and wonder why there's resistance. Exactly. Exactly. So, and how many of us have resistance to so many different things? You've got resistance to different sides of your masculine, which relate to your inner child, which is your ego. You've got resistance to certain aspects of your feminine, which relate to your inner child, hashtag, right? Your ego. I almost said hashtag your ego. Oh my God. So, do we need another hashtag? Yes. So no, which, right? Like also then if you're even using that language about a part of you, like let's put it on check for a second. You're using language like the kill the ego. One, that's not love. You're literally saying beat and fight with, kill, destroy, right? You're like, that has it has a negative energy around it, and that's not love, that's not integration, that's not support, that's not, right? Like you're putting more resistance about the thing that's a part of you, right? Like your ego is a part of you. So that's the other like weird thing, because it's like, you can't kill the ego. Like you can't kill the ego. Like it's there. It's a part of you. Like it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like you can't, you can't do it. Like it's not a thing. That's like that time somebody told me that they had their chakras removed. Like, you can't do that. Like it's like not a thing. You just can't do it. Like, I swear to God. Sometimes there's some like weird people selling some weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like to remove your ego. We're not going to go there. Point is, you can't get rid of your ego. It is part of your consciousness, right? So you can't kill something that is part of you, right? That makes sense, right? Yes, exactly. You guys are all laughing. Accept all parts of ourselves. Thank you, M34 Rod. Yes. And being in love and appreciation. If it's there, and especially if it's there and it's angry or if it's screaming or whatever, everything has a purpose. Like it has a reason why it's doing it, right? Like, let's say you have a headache, do you take just an Advil or some sort of pain relief to get rid of the headache, to just stop the alarm that's going off? Or do you then do like, because I can't even handle, like that's the one pain that I can't handle, right? Any pain, but that. And yet, then I'll be like, okay, am I dehydrated? Like going to the source and finding out like, okay, what do I need to do to find out why this is happening, what the cause of this is, right? So do you say like, oh, well, we don't like that part, so we're just going to like get rid of it and disregard it, right? Versus finding the ego, versus finding out, well, why is it having such a resistance? Why is it having anger or frustration or whatever the emotion is that's coming from you through the ego, right? Especially, yes, that resistance. What? Is that how we treat people? Oh, we don't like you. Done. Right? Granted, when there's abuse and when there's, there's healthy boundaries and all that, you guys know what I'm talking about on that. And like, are we shifting our awareness to be like, well, if it doesn't work for us, then just get rid of it and disregard it? Or are we coming from a place of love and compassion and understanding? Because a lot of times, I'm just going to call out a little bit of like truth bomb and see if it resonates. We talk a lot about love and compassion and understanding. And yet then we talk on this flip side of kill the ego and, drop that person out of your life and blah, 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 right? So it's like this contradictory conversation. And if we're talking about that about people, and then we're also talking about that way about ourselves. And that's not true love, right? That's not true love. That's not being talk about gratitude. That's not being in full gratitude for everything that is in your life. You have to be in gratitude of everything that's coming up because it's serving a purpose. If it wasn't serving a purpose, it wouldn't fucking be there. If it wasn't trying to send you a message, it wouldn't be there. If even a negative emotion wasn't trying to have you like pay attention to it for a very specific reason, it wouldn't be there. If you didn't have like pain in your body to try to heal you or bring awareness or attention to that, it wouldn't be there, right? Gratitude for what is, go to the source and the core of what the problem is, right? What needs fixing. Don't do the like Western medicine, like when in doubt, cut it out thing, We are all connected. Love the unlovable. Exactly. I just got chills with that. Okay. I got into watching the OA. I remember we were on, there was another live and I had no idea what the OA was, right? And everybody was like all tripping on it. I totally binge watched like, oh my God, like 5 episodes straight. That is such a badass. It's on Netflix. Please go watch it. I won't tell you what OA stands for, but it's badass, right? Hashtag to my like fellow seraphims anywhere in the world. You know who you are. And like there was the kid who was the one, he didn't have many people loving him in his life. He didn't have many people like taking care of him. He was really like on his own. And so because of that, he also, was left to his kind of like own self-discipline, which made him, the problem child in school, made him the one that, this teacher wanted to just send away because she didn't know how to deal with him, or, and then his parents didn't know how to deal with him. So it was like, send him away. Right. And granted, yeah, he was causing a bunch of problems, and I don't want to like spoil anything that happens, but she shifted the awareness of the teacher to kind of come from a different perspective and say, I don't want, like, go watch it. It's an amazing moment. I don't remember what episode that was in. Right. But it's like, maybe our perception of things is the problem, not the things that we think are the problem, not the things that we're saying that is the problem, the things that we want to just cut out and get rid of, right? If we take on that we are the creators of our reality, then our power is in our perception, right? That kid made you cry. Exactly. He couldn't believe she chose him, right? Because nobody ever loved him like that. And all he was trying to do was get love and attention. That's all anybody's trying to do, is to get love and attention. Sometimes it doesn't always come out in the most easiest form, right? Sometimes it doesn't. But then does that mean that it's less deserving of love? And so sometimes if your ego is acting in a certain way that is making you feel like it's a nuisance, one, that's part of you, again. And does it deserve less love because it's acting like a nuisance? And yet, if it's like that child that never got love and attention, and all it really wants to do is like go to Disneyland and have some fun, and it's been stuck in the corner because you haven't been paying attention to it, like, at all, then there's that part of you that you haven't had any attention given. There's that part of you that you haven't had any love given by you. Yes, hearts on that. And then he got and tried to prove he's not worthy. Of course, because then that's the shadow side of love, the shadow side of like being able to receive, because no one taught him how to receive love. And that goes for everybody too, right? We also have to be able to receive love. If we don't believe that we're worthy of receiving love from others, then why would we believe that we're worthy of receiving love from ourselves? And it flip-flops the same way. If you don't believe, it starts with you. Of course, it all starts with you. You set the tone. Everything outside of you is the fucking echo reflecting like the internal tone, right? So if you first and foremost don't believe that you are worthy of receiving love in a healthy way, right? Not the way that you potentially learned it from your false identity and false protection programs. If you don't believe that you are worthy of receiving love in the way that feels really fucking fun and good, like it feels like a swing and a bouncy house, then why would you ever believe that you're worthy of receiving love from anybody else? So then it comes down to your belief systems, and everything that's happening is showing up because it needs to reflect that for you. And the quickest shift is your belief system around it. And now, yes, of course, with beliefs, you've got emotions attached to it. You've got internal dialogue attached to it. You've got programs attached to it because you've been doing it for so long. It's like habitual behavior. So yes, you got to be able to unravel the years of programs, right? And yet it's all very possible. It's 100% possible. It's either going to take us a really long time, or we can have certain tools in order to make it possible. Thank you. You're cute too. Pinky. I don't know why that made me think. Did you guys ever watch Pinky in the Brain? Am I dating myself? I might be dating myself. Pinky in the Brain. You know what I'm talking about? What are we doing tonight, Brain? What are we doing on Tuesday, Brain? Same thing we do every Tuesday, Pinky. Have a conversation that's going to change the world from the inside out. Yes, Pinky in the Brain. That show freaked you out. Why? They were so badass. I loved Pinky. Like, I feel like I really, like, it connected with my inner nerd. Like, Pinky and I had, like, a weird, like, soulful, like, rapport going on with that. I really understood him. I think we'd be good friends if he was in real life. Be like, Pinky, let's go hang out. I loved Pinky. Brain was awesome, totally, right? But he was like a little stressed out a lot. You know, they were like a nice balance. They're a nice balance. We should go find Pinky in the Brain, YouTube. There's got to be something on YouTube with Pinky in the Brain. Okay, what else? What else is going on, guys? Yeah, you guys are all laughing. Awesome. Thank you for the realness, info, and love. You're so welcome. Is it Shantae? I think I pronounced that right. You guys are so welcome. You've been doing that, getting easier. Okay, great. Like an onion. I like to say a rose because I don't like onions. I think they kind of stink and they make you cry. Not really a fan of that. So I like to say there's not one petal to a rose, right? We've got all these multiple petals to a rose, and the goal is to get to the core of the rose, right? And so each like program or each pattern that you begin sort of, you know, taking off, which can, right? Like the goal is to get to the center and get to the core, right? Oh, yes, cards. Okay. I did pronounce it. Okay, great. You feel like you need to PM me and tell me about new experience. You have a new experience with dating because of me. Oh, I want to hear that. You don't want to share with the group? It's okay. Yes, girl, I want to hear your new experience with dating. Okay. Oh, thank you. Love seeing your lives because your energy is always so fresh and awesome. Thank you, Starseed Regina. Okay. Okay, cards. Okay. Was that helpful, guys? Like, let's focus on our fun and our play and our inner child and integration of the inner child. Yes. Everybody's like, they want to know about your dating life. What about hate? What exactly about hate? Hate is another emotion, right? We know that. It's all on the spectrum of love. Put it this way. Have you ever loved in such a way that you almost hated? And let me rephrase that. If you didn't love something, you wouldn't be able to hate it. Does that make sense? Otherwise, you wouldn't care. Like you'd have no charge at all. There'd be nothing to activate that emotion that then you're calling hate, which is just on the spectrum. Hate is just the opposite. Like if you got love over here, like it's a pendulum, right? If you got love over here and then you got hate over here. So it's on the same spectrum. It's just this side of the spectrum, but it's still in the same realm of love because you would have to love something so much in order to be so frustrated that then that frustration leads you to hate. Ah, yes. So that's what I feel about hate. You love it. You love whatever that thing is that you're hating. You love it so much, so fucking much. You hate whatever's happening. That could be a person. But transmute that, right? Because then you're the only one on that side of the spectrum. So jump over to the other side of the spectrum because you're still in the love, right? Okay. Wow, I flipped all of these all at once. Okay. Oh, this is dope. Okay, this goes a lot with what we're talking about. First one, follow your own rhythm. This goes so much with like, get in touch with that feeling, like, right? Like this, like what we were talking about, that little like heart spark, right? Get in touch with like following, like get in touch with that and then follow whatever that leads you to, right? And I love that she's dancing, right? It was so funny. Like I was on, I won't give the details, but on one of my client calls this week, right? I was like, literally, I'm like, put on some like fun, cute, like lacy underwear, something that makes you feel extra feminine, extra sensual, you know, whatever, and like dance around your house. Dance around in some heels and lace and make pancakes. Like something that allows that like rhythm to flow through you, right? If you're a guy, you know, whatever makes you feel the most masculine, right? Dancing is like a very feminine, and yet it's like getting in touch with that like rhythmic part of you to let anything flow. When there's energy moving, then everything else in your life can move, if that makes sense, right? So we need to keep the energy moving always, right? I think I posted that when I went to the gym. You start feeling stagnant, move the body, move the energy. This is creative, right? And whatever your heart is leading you to, right? Yes. And swing. Exactly. And swing. Yes, grasshopper. Light bulb. Okay, great. And look at this one. The Sacred Fool. This one, we haven't gotten this one in a really long time. And this is one of my favorite cards. And I'll tell you why this is one of my favorite cards, right? This is also the energy that I kind of bring, like, or that I tap into the majority of the time. Today was a little more like fluid and like deeply into my feminine. But usually it's like the Sacred Fool is, it's not that they're a fool. It's not that they're like, like being a fool is also like, if you can kind of like look at it as like the carefree and fun, right? This is the jester. This is play. This is like they're there to entertain, right? Bringing whatever story or like positive story, right? Not like our past stories, but a jester and a sacred, like the Sacred Fool is the entertainer, right? So everything like coming here and being part of Soul Circle and bringing that like entertainment factor, but that fun and that play, high energy factor, right? Like, yes, like being a foolish being, but it doesn't mean that you're a fool. It just means that that's like being playful, right? Being like foolish, like a little kid would be foolish, like go and get like into something that like maybe you shouldn't be getting into, but it's really fun, right? Entertain your inner free child. Exactly. Right? Your foolish whimsy. I like that. Yes, the jester. Right? So this goes with your inner child. Your inner child wants to play. Right? So whether that's you being like the puppeteering and kind of orchestrating something to play, or you being in that play, dancing around, telling jokes, like just being in that moment of fun and play. Go on a bouncy house thing, whatever that is, right? Setting intentions for more play, setting intentions for more fun, setting an intention to be present so that you can align to that heart sort of like spark that in any moment you'll be like, oh, that feels good. That would be really fun to do. Okay, let's go do that. Without reason, without having any reason. You don't need a reason to do it. And if somebody's like, oh my God, no, we shouldn't do that, right? Because there's always going to be somebody, unless you're by yourself. There's like, no, we shouldn't do that. Why not? Go do it. And this one, finally, then, what do you feel? This goes exactly the full conversation of like, what do you feel? That fun, that play, right? Getting more in touch with love versus like on the hate side, which is what we were talking about, right? Playful. Hi, Lizzie, baby. Girl, have you been playing too? Talking about play. Let's see. Live like childlike love, childlike fun. Yes, exactly. Airy, light, balance. Stop taking things so seriously. The sacred fool does not take anything so serious. We got to be, yes, you've been playing. Awesome, Lizzie. I love hearing that. Like, we have to stop taking ourselves so seriously. For real. Like, ow. We literally have to stop taking ourselves so serious. It's not that serious. Like, it's not. We're making it so serious. We are. Oh my God. Yeah, so true. Okay. Awesome. You have a 7-year-old boy and he helps you to take out your inner child and it's so much fun. Exactly. Yes. Like seriously. We need to get really, you know what we need to get serious about? We need to get very serious about setting an intention for how much fun we're going to have. Like that we need to be serious about. Like serious. If you're going to get serious about anything, get serious about that. Right? Thank you, needed that. Awesome. Nice. Why so serious? Oh, aw. Yes, exactly. Just shout out to that amazing actor. Okay. Okay, here we go. So this is the 3 on the business side, which could be, you know, if you're either an entrepreneur or this could be in your like purpose, right? So we all have, you know, on the personal side. And then this is kind of like on the business side, but like I said, your business could be either your tangible business as an entrepreneur or in, you know, your everyday business or like purpose, something like that, right? So see if you still might find relatability to you in some way along those lines. What are my daily rituals to have this amazing energy surround you? And which energy are you talking about surrounding me? Like my energy, or you mean like my friends and things like which one? Just to clarify. But yeah, if you guys want to know what my rituals are, I get serious about my rituals. Like really serious about my rituals. Okay. So put that in if you want, and I will do these cards. Okay, because we're good on time. Awesome. Okay, so the first one, like this. Okay. Master skillfulness. Master skillfulness. The art of finding the master, learning from the master, and then becoming the master. Finding the master, learning from the master, becoming the master. Yes, rituals. Okay, we'll get there if we have time. We need skills for self-mastery. We were not taught this stuff. It's becoming more and more like with this sort of consciousness movement, the more that this consciousness movement and enlightenment and all those things is becoming, you know, more of a thing, more well known, right? Then more people are realizing like the tools that they don't have for self-mastery, right? It is, I like that they say the art, right? The art of first finding the master, seeing who you resonate with, then learning from that master, and then you ultimately then becoming that master, right? I remember before I had one, granted, I had intuition. A lot of my, experiences brought in kind of just clear knowing, right? That sort of like clairsentient and clairaudient and all of those things, but I still had to learn things. I still had to learn how to compartmentalize all the different clairs and what each one felt like and was and how that related to me and what, dissecting it and deciphering it and all of those things, right? And then even still, like learning the core understanding of subconscious programming is key. It's one of the things that I love geeking out about, and I love teaching. It's just like, that's my nerdy side, right? And yet I didn't have that before. And so it's a play, like that in and of itself is still playful. I love that, like all of this still had like the art of finding that. There's still a play. There's still like an adventure in that. So spot on. Okay, exactly. So we are to find in the master, learning from the master, and then becoming the master. It's all about self-mastery. You want to do anything and doing it well, or just having the life that you want and the relationships that you want, being that conscious creator, like that's self-mastery. Right? And yes, there's tools for that. Okay. Oh, need a bonus card. Bonus card number 2. We get bonuses today, guys. Contemplation is a vehicle for solving dilemmas, making decisions, or considering an issue more deeply. I didn't know this deck had bonus cards, so I don't know exactly what that means. But contemplation is a vehicle for solving dilemmas, making decisions, or considering an issue more deeply. So whoever this is relating for, as far as like contemplating your business, or staying on your path or your purpose, or like whatever that is for you, like getting into a space where you can allow yourself like clear, higher conscious inspiration, right? Like that higher conscious inspiration to come through and allow that to guide you on your next steps, right? Making decisions, considering the issue more deeply, right? I feel like that kind of goes a lot with what we were talking about on like the deeper core of, from your ego and all that stuff, like on the personal side, that ego, like getting into like, what is the core issue of something, right? Going into that, like a deeper layer, getting even more, like finding out like the source of what is. So whatever you're having to contemplate or process, or you might be brainstorming like your next step, like going to the core of why you're not taking that step forward, or going to the core of, because it could be contemplating so many different things, right? And so I feel like this is relating to a couple different areas, but setting that intention so that you can really sit and allow whatever's going to come through. Does that resonate? I feel like this one is like, I don't know what, Serah? Sometimes. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Like I'm always like, I know. I'm going to sit and contemplate exactly the contemplation on the card. No. Okay, but one of the things that it says in here is sit in a comfortable posture with a pen and paper close by. Take a few deep breaths, clear your mind, write down your question, close your eyes, repeat the question, right? So you may resolve the issue right away or need to repeat the process a couple times. Okay, good. So what I was saying, creating that space for you, right? You're so glad you tuned in. Okay, great. So this might be for you then. If we get caught in the hustle and the bustle of doing things, then you're not setting that space. I just keep getting like, just set a space, create a space that's time and away from anything else that you're dealing with. It could be a meditation, or it could just be like going in your office and locking the door and being like, all right, buckle down. Like, what's the intention that I need to be making? Or what's the intention that I want? What's the outcome that is the desire? Where do I want to go to move forward? And what is that deeper core thing that's either holding you back or the reason why you're contemplating something, right? Like, we've got to get to the core. Otherwise, like, there's a reason why it's showing up, right? If you just go to the core. That's what I keep getting for that one. Okay. You too. Wow. Yes. Okay. You're leaving home in some time, so this sets you free. Okay, great. So then that resonates for you. Okay. Fill the hole. This is interesting. Hang on. Instead of searching for the big idea, find the hole, the missing piece, and fill it. There's always where you are, where you want to be, and then that gap in between. And sometimes we spend so much time in like jumping so far ahead in like, oh, what would be the next big thing? What would be like the great adventure, right? And then that kind of loses our track of moving forward, and that loses the sort of that loses the connection on like that missing piece. Like you're skipping over, it's almost like you're skipping over a rock. You're skipping over like a key step that you would need to be stepping on that would bring you greater awareness that's going to get you further ahead. And instead you're like jumping 5 steps ahead and you're still like on step 1 and you're trying to jump to step 5 and you've got those steps in between, right? And yet there's so much wisdom and there's key components in those steps in between that like they are the missing piece that then is going to bring you actually to step 5, right? Does that make sense? The hole in the in-between time or the hole within? Is that a question? Find the hole. So contemplate and fill the hole. Exactly. So get the skills that you need. So there might be something that's holding you back. If you don't have the skills to push you forward, a lot of times you set like a higher goal and then all your fears come up. Because that's what setting those higher intentions, that's going to trigger your subconscious and your inner child that then is going to feel abandoned every time you want to jump to the next level of that higher awareness or that next higher version of yourself. Your inner child is going to be like, oh my God, what are we doing? Where are we going? Are you sure? Are you going to abandon me? Right? And so getting the skills for that, so those fears or those limiting beliefs, all those things don't come up. Mastering self so that you are unstoppable no matter what you're doing, right? Then getting into the contemplation and solving whatever that problem is for you of where you're wanting to go or wherever you're feeling stuck, setting that frame so that then you can spend the proper amount of time to get in touch with the deeper core issue and moving through it, right? And if you don't have the skills, then you won't know how to move through it. And fill the hole, and that's the missing piece. Oh gosh, we're counting down. Okay. So, was that helpful? I've definitely been directed to take my time and build. Exactly. Missing parts of the in-between time. Because we're jumping too far into the future. There's nothing wrong with setting that future, jumping in the future, setting that intention, that vision of what it is that you want to create and what you would like to obtain, but don't stay over there. You have to come back and then fill the space in between, right? Sometimes it's also like the missing link of, oh gosh, if I was working with you guys like on your businesses, then it would be like whatever that specific, you might be able to teach something. You're thinking that, oh, you got to be teaching this, and yet there's a missing piece that you could also be teaching, right? Or that you could also be giving, whatever your job is, right? Like I work with a lot of like entrepreneurs and stuff like that on their business. So if it was something that you would be teaching, there's a missing piece to then bring in that you would be able to offer, right? Reverse engineer what you want. Love that. Yes. Jump into the future, find out what you want, backtrack that shit. Awesome. I love all you guys. Thank you for jumping on to Soul Circle Tuesday. We do this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am Serah Delane, your conscious lifestylist, helping you through love and business. I love you guys. You're awesome. This world is shifting. Our consciousness is getting to the next level, and it all starts with you. So I love you guys so much, and tune in next week. And mwah. Have an amazing rest of your night or day wherever you are in the world. Bye, babes. Bye, you too.